Because it doesn't say that, that's why. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say melting pot. Nowhere in our Constitution does it make the claims written on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp besides the golden door. No American ever wrote, said, or asked that to be advertised to the world. Written by the French as a joke to obviously send all the crackpots of the world away from going to France. Notice all the refugees are military-aged men with no women or children? That's an invasion. Illegal alien superintendent of Iowa schools, $300K in income, caught with guns and cash. Came in on a student visa, 1999, registered to vote. In just one case, the Democrats' mantra of illegals can't vote goes up in smoke. Can't vote? How about register to vote, $300K in income, lied about his educational background? This is the poster boy for everything the Democrats want. ICE detained a police officer in Illinois for overstaying a student visa, and they gave him a job as a police officer to enforce the laws on you. And they wonder why people engage in such conspiracies about being replaced. Ever been let go from a job because you make too much money, but the new guy that makes less is kept? It's the same thing. And it is a reality. They spent years hammering everyone with defund the police and how horrible the police are. They make it to where no one wants to be one. Then they can be justified giving the jobs to illegals and foreigners that have no allegiance to the people they police. Doesn't that sound like a great place to live? Somewhere right out of a dystopian novel. American citizens would have a problem acting on orders to brutalize their own countrymen. But have the police bust in as foreign mercenaries, they'll do your bidding and crush the resistance like stormtroopers at a high school kegger party. They told us illegals aren't getting Medicaid. Then they screeched like someone brought a Bible on the View when the governments wanted records for ICE proving they're illegals on Medicaid. They can explain the ecosystem of a saltwater fish tank, how the balance is delicate between the pH levels, different species living together. Can't understand the ecosystem of a neighborhood with resources and jobs that are limited. But let's pack people in 5 families deep per apartment and pretend everything's going to be fine. Chanting peace and harmony since the summer of '67. Living in harmony. Can't work if everyone hasn't agreed to a few terms first. You go to a Guar concert, and everyone's singing along with Sick of You. You can't just jump on stage and sing whatever you want into a microphone and call it being in harmony. Go to a drum circle and bring a bandsaw to join in. Sounds great, huh? We can live in harmony once we've all agreed to the song, the key, and the lyrics. And if you join a choir already living in harmony, who the hell are you to just show up as some Johnny-come-lately and demand everybody stop and cater the song to you? They were already here, already singing, already in harmony. Being American is not a skin color, but it is a mindset. No one cares what color you are or where you're from. You leave all that at the door to become American. One of us. Liberty. Freedom of speech means you don't get to stop someone from saying the things you disagree with. Freedom of assembly. The Gestapo can't raid your get-together. Freedom of religion. You don't get to hop the fence and machete your neighbor or strap on a bomb or kidnap their family if they're a religion you don't approve of. Due process. Gerard de Villefort and Fernand Mondego can't toss you into the Chateau d'If as if you were Edmond Dantes. That's the Count of Monte Cristo for those of you in Rio Linda. Capitalism. The best game in town. Everything else is tried and failed. If you want to bring in communism or Marxism or any other ordeal that seeks to eradicate our way of life, you are not welcome. Self-reliance and dependence. The American dream. Work for your money, buy your own things, make your own plan, be what you want to be. You don't have to be born into the class your parents were as if this is medieval times. You're not damned to a lifetime of servitude because that's what your parents did. You can work, you can hustle, you can bust your ass to get your foot in the door. And if no one clears a path for you, make your own. That's freedom. And as we all know, some people don't know what to do with freedom. To some adults, it means ice cream and beer for breakfast. To others, it's 10 hours a day of porn and depravity. You see, not all adults can even handle freedom. And these people were born into it. So what happens when you open the gates and let 10 million illegals in without assimilation of any kind? If we took 50 white mountain people from Appalachia and dropped them into Manhattan, would you have 50 more yuppies or 50 hillbillies running around the city? Little Italy, Chinatown, people coming here and pretending they still live in another country. The Muslim Marxist mayor of New York complained that no other candidate could name a mosque and hasn't visited one. His argument is, how can you be the governor if you don't care about these people? Well, how would he even think that a politician has to go to a place of worship any place of worship, of any religion, to show his allegiance in the United States of America. Hell's bells, I'd ask him, why is it that the mayoral candidate needs to go to their mosque in a campaign? Why aren't these people out at the town halls or the community meetings? They get to live in a bubble, pretend they're in their own home countries, and enjoy all the protection and security and prosperity of the country they're hiding in. Hiding. They sure aren't trying to be a part of everything. If you're illegal, you aren't joining the housing authority or volunteering to be a big brother or starting a neighborhood watch. You're hiding. From immigration, from the police, from any sort of authoritative figure that can end your lifestyle in one encounter. Only getting jobs that will keep them under the table, thus taking advantage of the worker. Someone explain this to me. If a company, let's say, needs to clean their toilets, they only offer $10 an hour, but these toilets are used, folks, covered in stuff that needs to be scrubbed daily. It's not worth the pay. So the company hires an illegal hiding here and can't speak up for themselves. And to be honest, $10 an hour in America sure beats pennies a day in a jungle or a desert or what have you. You can even buy a wheel and see what a second floor looks like over here. So the company gets away with paying a slave lower wages. The American still needs a job. The company gets away with not paying much. The illegal gets taken advantage of. Who supports this and calls themselves humanitarians? Democrats and liberals. The cities that also think leaving you to wallow in your habit of choice is compassion. Truck drivers killing people. If California doesn't accept weapon licenses from other states, why do we have to accept their CDLs? The Somalian fraud in Minnesota? That's a whole other show on its own, folks. We could do 3 hours on that alone. If your business requires illegal slave labor, then your business has no right to exist. Not here in America. Go somewhere they don't look like hypocrites allowing that type of thing. We get rid of slavery, and the Democrats hate it. They still hate it. They aren't angry you're deporting lawbreakers. They're mad you're deporting their employees, and voters, and population for their seats of power. They're pushing people out of their own states, and they need to replace that population so they can keep their seats in Congress. Those seats in Congress are based on population. So if enough people leave from California, they lose seats. So people leave California, bus in the immigrants. More immigrants, population, more seats of power. It's very simple to follow. Your congressional seats powered by the population of illegal invaders. The American voter figures them out and jumps ship, and they bus in their replacement from Zimbabwe or Mogadishu to keep their power and then force their will on the people instead of making policies the people asked for. I had a friend growing up. We'll call him Juan. He lived in Puerto Rico until he was 10. Do you know why he moved to America? His father was accused by a local man of sleeping with his wife. And one morning, while Juan walked to the store at 7 years old, this man pulled up in a car, hopped out, and attacked his father with a machete on the street, in broad daylight, in front of the man's 7-year-old son. He hacked the man to pieces and was never even arrested for it. You see, this machete man had money and local payoff abilities with the authorities, so he was let go. Imagine being so full of guilt for living in the greatest country that has ever existed that you feel the need to import all the misery we avoid from other countries where machete revenge and drunk driving are national pastimes. Juan came to America at 10, and last I talked with him, probably about 10 years ago. Still loves the country that allowed his family to survive in safety, peace, and opportunity. The suicidal empathy of the Democrat and the single moms will be the downfall of the West. And with all this hubbub, they still die on the hill of what a racist and unfair country this is. Well, lift the gate. Do the people of color run out, or do they run in? Tells you all you need to know. Back after this.